A new compact electric SUV by Skoda. This is here the Skoda Elroq in the final reveal. And this is, so to speak, the EV of the Skoda Karoq. And what can it actually offer? How good is it? We're going to find out. Here with Thomas and Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go. This is here the high trim level in white. However, we'll also show you here in this Timiano green color, it's called. That's like a thyme green, they call it. This is here then the lower trim level, and we're going to compare both for you. In the front, you can see it already has a strong stance, and even this illuminated front grille is possible, that you have the light structure right here. The main headlamp unit, LED is standard. These here are the optional matrix LED, and then we're soon going to show you in the rear you also have a cascading turning indicator. In this case here with the black contrasts and also this honeycomb style grille, I would say. There will also be a sport line available later with a lower, stiffer suspension and also with even sportier looks. 19 to 21 inch wheels. These here are indeed the biggest ones, 21 inch, and also with these aerodynamic inserts. Length at 4,49 meters or 177 inches. So really compact dimensions, and in this case also with a contrasting black roof. However, you can also go with this mono roof there. As for the battery size, there are 3 different sizes, and it's a little bit confusing, honestly. 52, 59 and 77 kilowatt hours net. We always give you the net figures if we have them. This one here is the one with the biggest battery. However, the versions, how they call it 50, 60 and 85, which don't match the net nor the gross figures of the battery, so that's to me a little bit confusing. But in the video description we also have a separate comment and also all the listing of the figures, that you can also read it in the calm minute and so on. So here the 85 model is the one with the biggest battery, 77 kilowatt hours net, and there will be either rear-wheel drive versions, so this like the standard because it's on the MEB platform, like the bigger Skoda Enyaq, or there will be all-wheel drive model. This will be then the 85X, so then we will have an additional electric motor in the front, and this one up to around about 300 horsepower, of course, then with better acceleration. Here at the rear you can see these really 3-dimensional tail lamps. Skoda has paid much attention to that because of this check glass craftsmanship background. And the Q at the end of the name, this is a thing that this scheme they have been following that for all the SUV models, no matter if it's the combustion engine ones or also then here the electric ones. Recharging can come over here. This is here the charging flap on this side. 11 kilowatt AC, DC port is of course also there, and it either takes 28 minutes for the bigger battery or 24 minutes for the smaller battery, 10 to 80% state of charge. However, here the big battery, of course, it's just bigger, therefore it takes more time, but this one then has a charging peak of 175 kilowatt. Let's head on over here to our Timiano green vehicle. It's a very, very light green color, although not like base model, because these here are 20-inch wheels, so 19-inch wheels would be the standard, so they are already a little bit bigger. Here then there's also not the illumination in the front grille here, just on the outside. But you see, it already looks quite decent, even as the base version. Actually a quite grown-up SUV look already. And this new design language you see here will also be a template for all other new Skoda models following right now. So this is a new design language which is supposed to be a little bit bolder, but at the same time a little bit more simplistic, and all the new models you will see will be based on this very base design you see right here. So is there any frunk under the hood? Let's take a look. There we go. No, actually there is not, and yeah, we've seen it with a lot of SUVs from the German corporations, you have to say, because Skoda belongs to the VW group. They're starting to pick up it, one by one now, but here the MEB platform, like the smaller electric platform, none of them have actually frunks. By the way, if this is here not small enough for you, there will be another even smaller electric SUV by Skoda called the Skoda Epic. This one then will be the next platform. This is again front-wheel driven, whereas this one here is the rear-wheel driven platform or all-wheel drive. The next Volkswagen AG electric platform will be smaller, front-wheel driven, and house the Skoda Epic, but also the VW ID.2, for example, where we already have an extensive preview of. Now to the interior, here the high gloss black shiny key. Yeah, maybe not my favorite one, and it's the same for all the vehicles basically from the Volkswagen AG. Then the door closing sound. That sounds really solid. That's cool. So yeah, just applause for that actually. Inside of the doors, so this is the highest trim model. Here we have also somewhat soft touch, but also with the structure. It's not that soft, but the structure is pretty cool. Then a high-grade leather red here in the gray style. And what's also cool here, the inside door pockets are covered with felt on the inside, and we don't find that so often nowadays. Then we have this Elroq entry badge together with the steering wheel here with perforations at the side. Steering wheel is a mix of animal material and leatherette, so they're not there yet at this moment. They're searching for another supplier to give that to them. The seats, however, completely animal free. This is the highest trim, which would be so-called lodge trim comparable, with this black Econile seats on the middle part. These are also with like a very high recycling share and a high-grade leatherette on the outside. And this is also the thing about this vehicle. So Skoda inside the Volkswagen Corporation have always been like the most conservative brand. And in some respects, this was good because, for example, they are keeping like an easier user interface, a more classic user interface. On other aspects, it was bad because, for example, also as for sustainability, they were always the latest of the brands to pick up on this. So here also the latest brands, for example, to offer animal-free seats, and here also in 3 different versions: fabric, full leatherette, or here then the fabric leatherette mix in the highest trim. And the seating position is actually pretty cool and cozy and comfortable. Here the steering wheel in and out, up and down. So this is an easy process. These are also the electric seats, so you can also find a nice and comfy seating position. Yeah, that's good. Headroom. Click, click, yeah. Click, click, click. Here with 189, 6 for 2. There's more than enough headroom left. So yeah, it's cozy, comfortable, and it already feels like a large grown-up SUV here in the front. No, not extendable, the sunshade here, but this is really a cool thing. So in the front, you would not really feel, hey, I'm not in the Elroq or the ID.4 or ID.5 or something like that. It feels kind of similar in the front. Now to the interior cockpit overview. Very simplistic design indeed. Look at that, how the ambient lighting follows around here. You can also change the colors, of course. Then this very trim here, we also have a really soft leatherette surface here that feels really nice with contour stitches. On top of that, also softened here with other structure. So a very good material quality, and also as for the seats, as I've shown you right there. Isofix, by the way, also here on the front seats. So together with the rear seats, you have 3 Isofix points then. The glove box here is also properly dampened and quite spacious. And you have still here these hard buttons as hotkeys, for example, to jump to the climate menu, or here to the driving modes and so on. Then the cup holders here in the front, you can put this one out for a larger surface, but they are not really adaptive, the cup holders. In the very front, there is also an inductive charging pad, for example, and there are some, yeah, let me just put that rubber away that you can see. Can I get some light? Let there be light. There we go. Ah, yeah, there are indeed cooling holes underneath, just for the left part. So the left part is a charging pad, the right part is just storage for the phone. And then we have 2 USB-C chargers way down there. So there we need light and the diving from the camera. And here the middle console, there's more space in the middle part here. Coin holders right here. This is the shifting lever, drive and reverse, and soft for your elbow here, also properly attached. And then this is really exciting. So there's 1 box you can put out, and there's another box you can fold out and also put out. And then either is huge storage, or then you have this game of Tetris of the different storage boxes. That's interesting. Oh, by the way, did you know? Here underneath you see this honeycomb structure. And why do manufacturers do that with such an easy or simple plastic piece? And the reason for that is that we have something like that. It's inspired, oh, and now I can give myself light in the face, in your face, y'all. So this is actually inspired by nature, and nature, like bees, do it in the honeycomb style because this is an efficient way to build something, yet at the same time it is very stable, you know, and by that you have basically the least amount of material, whereas you have the highest grade of stability, which is really efficient. And when they produce, you know, also maybe for other cars and so on, like a couple of thousand, or at some point for other cars, not for this one maybe, but like thousands or even millions of pieces, and put a little bit less of plastic and a little bit less of strength and a little bit less of material, where it's still having the same or better strength, they can save a lot of material. It's good for sustainability and of course also for saving money. And here, underneath this middle console, also here covered with these rubber pads that nothing flies around, also way more space. Here, by the way, next to the steering wheel on the left side, there's a separate button. See, what is this? Yeah, this falls down. It's really tiny here. Then sometimes people think there's like a special storage for special gadgets there. But yeah, you know, it's interesting to have apple slicer. Here you can press it in, then it comes down. Funny feature, isn't it? Driver POV, steering wheel here with still real buttons and also these jogs. There we go. Also on the right side, for example, like shifting pedals, but they are for recuperation. And also this new Skoda logo, which is then this lettering. And when I press the brake, then the car comes alive. There we go. Small digital instruments. That's it. And there's also a head-up display available, which you can see right here. And the studio guys are hidden behind the head-up display visualization. And by the way, this car will also optionally feature DCC, dynamic chassis control, the adaptive suspension. And you can already see at the steering wheel, if the car is equipped with that, here, this additional spoke in the lower part is just with DCC vehicles. Otherwise, the base steering wheel will be just like an open area here in the lower part. And here the infotainment, you have these tile views here. Then there's also a car internal GPS, of course, and a home menu, also with a nice visualization of the vehicle. Climate unit is always here in the lower part. It at least stays in that way, but I'm not the biggest fan of that. I need the physical dials as for me, however, but the reactions of the system look quite good so far. You know, they have had a lot of problems with the infotainment software, VW, Skoda, Seat, Cupra and so on. Most of the time you'll use Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, but we hope that these new software versions here now with better hardware behind will also do a more reliable job. So far it actually looks quite promising. Rear seats, so first of all here this shade I can apply here, so that's good for the rear passengers. Then this is here a structure at the inside of the doors, hard packed though. This is then a soft leatherette, no fabric on the inside of the doors in the rear though, but we had it at least in the front. Then we have some pockets here at the back parts of the seat, and the same material mix, the fabric Econile on the inside, recycling, and also then the high grade leatherette in gray on the inside. Also here on this middle seat, really soft, good material quality. You can fold down this here for cup holders. Not the best solution though, maybe. And this is also the ski hatch, for example, like this. And then the space is very important. First of all, there's good knee room here, or leg room still left when I'm driving. It's the seat as I would be driving, and headroom with 189, 6'2". Also here in the rear is actually a good offering of space. So you see that the difference then to the ID.5, ID.4, Skoda Enyaq and so on is rather the trunk difference in length. But still, if you think about this one here as the price offering, as the space, exterior, interior dimension offering, is the more useful vehicle. Indeed, I have to say that. And here is the fifth tall adult. Sorry about that, Leah. I want to begin with that one first. Here's the fifth tall adult. You also sit relatively comfortable. It's not too stiff there actually, but for four, of course, it's better. Then we have ISOFIX on the outside seats, so together with the front seats is then 3 times ISOFIX. Now also here in this lower middle console, so there's a seat heating for the rear seats as well available. And then underneath you find some USB-C chargers way down there, and this is like a special insert here with cup holders, folding them in, folding them out like this, or you can also take out this whole thing here if you just don't like it. Then we have a rather even floor here using that EV platform. Now to the trunk, 470 liters. Electric hatch is an option or in the higher trim, and interesting things to come here. Cabin trolley also fits in vertically, even with the charging cable there. Soon more to that. A meter of 40 inches in width, and in length it's about 86 centimeters or 34 inches. I already fold here 2/3 ski hatch available. You have to fold it from going around, so it's not possible from the trunk, and the total length is here 1 meter 62 or 64 inches. Then it's a very interesting solution here with the cable. So
the light here.
Oh yeah, that's the light. Yeah, we need some light in this dark studio. So here, to have the cable accessible even when there is luggage. So there, and we have no trunk, you know. There we go. So it's a little bit tough to do that, but then you can actually access the charging cable here, and it needs to be somehow hard because the charging cable is heavy. Then you put this one up again, so not the easiest solution, but I think it's an interesting new idea to put it here, because otherwise it would be down there. This is here an additional mat for the trunk, sorry, yeah, mixing up with the cable. This is like a rubber side, so you could put it also other way in, like this, for example, and then it can be like wiped clean easier. So this would work also with the Elroq lettering on there. Underneath there's just tiny space. You see that this wouldn't work that well with the cable and so on. And then you have some more storage space here, and also even a towing hook. Let's see. There we go, like this semi-automatic, and pressing once again, there we go. Price starts at around 34,000 euros as a German example price, and if you spec it like this, the biggest battery, maybe even an all-wheel drive version, highest trim and so on, we don't have the prices yet, but I calculate with something 50 to 55,000 euros, like for everything then high trim. And important competitors would be, for example, the Kia EV3 or also the Volvo EX3.